In today's video, I'm going to teach you about Express.js. So Express.js is a framework to build web applications using Node.js. It is a very minimalistic framework and it is a choice of the masses. A lot of developers out there use this framework every single day to deliver fast and efficient APIs and web applications using Node.js. So we are going to learn this framework, at least the basics of it, in this particular video, and I'm going to build on the foundations we are going to lay in today's video, and then I'm going to release a series of videos where I will be detailing each and every part of Express.js, and we will learn how to architect a full-blown production-ready application using Express.js. So in order to get started with Express.js, you need to have Node.js installed on your system. So in order to install Node.js, you can simply go to nodejs.org and look for the directions for your operating system and install Node.js. Once you have Node.js installed on your system, the next step is to test whether you have Node available or not. So the command is node, then space, then -- version. So as you can see that Node is installed on my system, and that is the only prerequisite for getting started with Express.js. Now we are good to go. So in order to create a Express.js application, we can start with a simple Node project. Now in order to create a new Node project, first of all we need to create a directory. So let's create a directory Express.js. Okay, cd to this directory and then run npm init-y. So what this will do is that it will create a package.json file with defaults, okay, because we do not want to go or iterate through all the steps. So we will just simply create package.json in one go. Once we do this, we will get to see that this object will become the part of our JSON package.json file, and this file has been generated for us. If I do ls here, you can see that this file is now generated. When you have this package.json in a folder, that particular folder is known as a node package. Okay, so in order to tell whether something is a node package or not, you have to locate for this file. If this file is there in that particular folder, you can clearly tell that okay, this particular folder is a valid Node.js package. Okay, so we have created a package. What was the reason to create a package? Because now we want to create an Express-based application. In order to create an Express-based application, we need to install Express.js as a dependency. Okay, in order to install Express.js as a dependency for this project, we have to do npm install and then express. It is as simple as that, and wait for some time. Okay, now we have Express.js installed. Let's open this folder in a text editor. I use VS Code, but you can use whatever you want to. I am just pretty comfortable with VS Code. That is the reason I use it. Okay, so let's go through the package.json file. Okay, let's open our project, and our project is in the dev directory and Express.js. Okay, let's open this thing up, maximize this window, and now let's go to package.json. So here is the name of our project, which is Express. In this case, you can change it. Here is the list of dependencies. Okay, so now you can see that we have Express listed as a dependency. Now we can use this package in order to create our web application. Along with that, you can locate this node modules folder, which means that whatever dependencies you are going to install in your project, those dependencies are going to be stored inside the node modules folder. Okay, so you do not have to take care of managing this folder. You do not have to push this folder on GitHub or whatever. You do not have to manage this folder. Node.js will do it on its own by going through your package.json file and dependencies object in particular. Okay, now in order to run this project, we need to have a script. So it will go inside this script tag, and it should be something like def Okay, and then whatever command you want to run on the CLI. So what I have done here is that I have created a script dev, and when I do something like npm run dev, it should execute this particular command. So these were the basics of package.json. Now let's start with our Express application. So I will open up the terminal here first of all and run this command. First of all, I will save this file and run this command dev. Okay. As of now, it will not do anything. It will simply tell you that it cannot find the module because index.js is not yet present. So first of all, let's create our index.js file. Okay. Here we are going to write our Express application code. Okay. Now let's try to run this thing. And now you can see that our script has been run and it produced no output. Okay, so let's start with creating a simple Express application. So in order to create it, you first have to require the dependency. So this is how you do it in Express, in Node. Okay, and now we have to create an application. So Express provides you with a function, and that function, when you call it, gives you an instance of the Express application, which you can tweak to your desires. Okay, so now we have an Express application ready, you can say. Let's start the server. So in order to start the server, you have to do something like app.listen and then the port number. So for the time being, we are going to provide the port number as 8000. Okay, so our application is going to run on port number 8000. So let's start this thing. Now as you can see that earlier it exited when I run npm run dev. Now it hasn't exited yet because this particular line is actually executing an HTTP server. So it is a long running process. It will not exit on its own. You have to terminate this thing. Okay, it is due to this command is not exiting. Okay, now let's go to our browser and type in http localhost, which is the address of our local machine, and then type colon and 8000, and hopefully you will get to see this. This means that our application based on Express is working correctly. This is a default behavior which you are seeing here, because on this particular route, we are going to talk about routes in detail in my follow-up videos, but this particular route is not yet present. We haven't tweaked our application so much so that it can entertain any particular incoming request. So this is the default behavior which we are getting to see here. Let's shut this server down. First of all, press Ctrl C and terminate this application. Go back and reload this thing. Now you can see that it is just trying to fulfill our request, but it is not getting any response, which means that the earlier page was actually being served by Express.js. Now the Express.js server is down, hence we are getting to see this particular screen. So let's start our server again, but this time let's provide a callback function as well. And this particular function, what it does is that whenever it has started listening on port 8000, it will also execute this callback function. So here you can do several things like printing something like console.log server started. Okay, something like that. And if you do this, you will get to see server started. One more thing you can do here is that you can pass this port number from an environment variable. How can we do that? So we do not want to keep this port number static. So what we can do is that we will do something like constant port and then process.env.port. So we are going to leverage process.env from Node ecosystem in order to read environment variable known as port. Okay, and then we are going to use that particular port here. Similarly, inside our string, we are going to do something like this template string and do something like this. So now we have made our Express application a little bit dynamic so that we can at least alter the port number. Okay, what this will help us in doing is that if we want to start several instances of the single application, we can do that by simply changing the port number. So we can start 3 instances of a similar application by just changing the port number and starting 3 instances by running the same command 3 times by just simply altering an environment variable. Otherwise, if you wanted to change the port number every single time, you have to go in this particular code section and alter it. Now, since we have made this thing dynamic, we do not have to do that. So let's see. In order to start the server now, you can do something like set port and then 8000. Okay. And then do npm run dev. Okay, so it is not yet reading this thing. So let's see how to do it in PowerShell. Okay, so something like this, env, then port, and the value is 8000. And if we do this, then hopefully it will pick up the port number, and it actually did. So this is how you define the port number in PowerShell. For command prompt, the earlier notation will work, but since I was using PowerShell, it did not. So now our server is again running. Let's go back to our server. Let's open it again, and yes, now it is working on 8000 port as desired. So let's do something with our application. As of now, it is just bare bones. It is not doing anything. So now we are going to create a simple route. A route is a path. Okay, so if I do something like /Rajat, so this Rajat/Rajat is a route. Okay, any route can entertain certain kinds of requests or HTTP verbs. These HTTP verbs are get, post, put, patch, delete, and more, right? So by using these HTTP verbs, we can express our intent that what we need to do. It is as of now telling me that I cannot get, which means that this is a verb. When you simply type in a URL and press enter, it is sent as a get request. So the HTTP verb in this particular case is the get. Okay, so we are going to leverage the true fact that it is trying to get this particular URL. By default, if you don't do anything after typing in the URL, the route is always going to be this / thing. So either you do localhost :8000/ or you do nothing. Both are same. Both are going to go to the / route. Okay, and the HTTP verb that is being sent is the get. So we are going to leverage the true fact. So in order to create a get route, we can do something like app.get. So this is the HTTP verb and the route name. Okay, and then we have to provide in a callback function what we want Express to do in case we get a get request on this particular route. So this particular callback function takes in 2 parameters, rec and res. So first one is the request object, the other one is the response object. So using these 2 objects, I can access various properties related to the incoming request and the outgoing request. Okay, so if I want to do something with the incoming request data, I have to access the properties from this particular variable. If I want to do something with the response, the outgoing data, I have to use this res object. Okay, so in order to send some data, I have to use this res thing, and then I can do res.send and hello. Okay, and save this file. Once we are done with that, we have to reload our server. So let's reload our server and quickly go back, and now we can see that our Express application is responding with a hello because now it is able to find a get route located at this particular address. Okay, now this rest thing. So a response object has certain methods which we can use in order to send data back to the client. So send is one such method. So basically send, first of all, sends the data and then closes the connection. There is one more method which we can use. That one is write. So using write, you can send multiple messages. Okay. And once you are done with sending data, you can finally close the connection. So basically, you can say that send is write plus end. Let's restart our server and see hello and hi. Okay. So it sent two packages and then close the connection. So now our Express application is working correctly. So that is it for today. In my next video, we are going to learn about routes in detail. We are going to create several sorts of route, like for get request, for post request, for delete request, and we will see how to work efficiently with routes. So before I leave, I have a humble request that most of you guys see my videos but do not subscribe to this channel, do not leave a like on the videos, which does not, help me in getting motivated to produce more videos. So if you really like to see such stuff, it will be really great if you guys can give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. And I see you guys around in the next video.